We tell you, we wait for the investigation to play out. We keep you posted with all the facts as they come in, are available. We don't rush to judgment, nor do we deny people the presumption of innocence, and that goes for Jussie Smollett. If his claims turn out to be a complete hoax, it would just be one in a long list of fake, phony, concocted, MAGA-inspired hate crimes in the Trump era. So why is this happening? Now, it's pretty simple. Deranged attention seekers on the left, they know exactly how to extract sympathy from Hollywood and the media. Just play their preferred narrative. Play right into it. Now, for most members of the hate Trump media, we the people, remember, we're the enemy. They believe that anybody who supports Trump, his agenda, as successful as it's been, we're scary, we're uneducated, we're racist, sexist, xenophobic, homophobic, Islamophobic monsters, and smelly Walmart people. The media really should get out of New York City and Washington, D.C., and L.A. and San Francisco just a little more, because this lie could not be further from the truth, and it's said every 2 and 4 years. Now, according to World Values Survey, look at this. The United States ranks among the single most tolerant nations in the world. Americans have led the way in charitable giving. The president's sweeping prison reform, giving nonviolent offenders a second chance, widely supported among Trump supporters. This is the greatest, single best, kindest country on the face of the earth. We're the most generous people. The average American, we are inherently good people. But sadly, that doesn't quite fit the left's narrative. So they're always literally willing and ready and able to jump on any story, regardless of red flags, regardless of evidence, to paint any Trump supporters as evil and scary. And we've got the tape, and we'll show it to you. Take a look.
Certainly, there are many indications of a hate crime here. They are looking for 2 suspects who were apparently wearing Make America Great Again hats.
It's coming from the President of the United States. He's dog whistling every day. He's separating and dividing.
Connect the dots. This is what happens. If you are in a position of power and you hate people and you want to cause suffering to them.
My initial reaction was sadness.
Yeah.
I wasn't shocked.
This obsession, this rush to paint a huge sector of the American population as racist, evil, pretty widespread. Democratic presidential candidates Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, well, they called the Smollett case, without any evidence, a modern-day lynching. GQ runs the headline, quote, "The racist, homophobic attack on Jussie Smollett is far-right America's endgame." Look at Newsbusters. ABC, CBS, NBC News spent a whopping 157 minutes covering the Smollett case from one perspective. Meanwhile, the same networks, they only spent 24 minutes covering, well, an actual hate crime in 2017 when a young man who happened to be white was kidnapped and tortured by a group of teens shouting anti-white, anti-Trump slurs. Those assailants actually filmed the attack, posted it to Facebook, and were charged with actual hate crimes. And the media cared more about Smollett and his too-good-to-be-true narrative. And it's why you rarely see any outrage over what is now a sharp rise, for example, of anti-Semitic attacks in de Blasio's New York, Comrade de Blasio. Because those attacks weren't carried out earlier this month in Kentucky. A man reportedly pulled a gun on a couple for wearing a Make America Great Again hat. What is the obsession with the hats? 2 days ago, a Vans shoe store employee launched into a graphic tirade against the teen because he was wearing a Make America Great Again hat. The employee has since been fired. And on Monday, a person reportedly called a 7-year-old kid Little Hitler. Why? Because he had a hot chocolate stand that was raising money to protect the country for a border wall. All of this happened in February, and we're not even halfway through the month. So ask yourself, why are people likely to get assaulted or accosted in the streets because they wear a hat that says they want to make their country great? But according to the left, we're evil, we're bad, we're hateful. Now, this is nothing new for the left. It's an age-old tactic. We can go back to Richard Jewell, the Duke lacrosse case, Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, UVA. More recently, Judge Kavanaugh, and more really recently, the Covington High School kid. Rushing to judgment is the left's M.O., and the media as well. No due process, no presumption of innocence. Now, breaking tonight, there are about to be real consequences for those who report fake news, slander, and libel innocent people. Lin Wood, he is the attorney that previously represented Richard Jewell in his defamation case. By the way, won a lot. He filed tonight a $250 million suit against the Washington Post on behalf of Nicholas Sandmann. Remember, Sandmann was the young teen at the center of the media's fake outrage, lies, smears, slander, his lawful and completely normal conduct at a protest where he was attacked verbally and otherwise. He calmly, as you can see, he stood his ground. He smiled when a 64-year-old Native American activist walked over, approached him with his drum in his face and kind of speaking loudly. This after a horrible, vicious, racist verbal assault against these kids by the activists that are known as the Black Hebrew Israelites. Watch this.
This is the religion of America. That's make America great again. A bunch of child molesters.
That's right.
Just like your damn Donald Trump.
Look at all these dusty crackers with that racist garbage on. Look at these dirty crackers.
These kids are 15, 16 years old. And despite what you just saw, still members of the media like the Washington Post and NBC and others. By the way, you guys wait. I know Lin Wood. Lin Wood is one of the greatest attorneys in the country. He'll be here tomorrow night. You guys are in for a fight. Vilified an innocent high school student. And according to the suit, we have an early copy of it. It says, quote, the Washington Post wanted to lead the charge against this child because he was a pawn in its political war against political adversaries. A war so disconnected and beyond the comprehension of a 16-year-old, Nicholas in this case, that it might as well have been science fiction. Now, the suit against the Post says the Post must be dealt with the same way every bully is dealt with, and that is hold the bully fully accountable for its wrongdoing in a manner which effectively deters the bully from, again, bullying other children. In a civil suit, punishment and deterrence is found in awarding money damages to the victim and target of the bully. In order to fully compensate Nicholas for his damages and to punish, deter, and teach the Washington Post a lesson it will never forget, this action seeks money damages in excess of $250 million. By the way, this amount Jeff Bezos, the world's richest person, paid in cash for the Washington Post when his company, Nash Holdings, purchased the newspaper in 2013. Finally, there's going to be justice. And the good news about this is this happens daily with this hate Trump media, this corrupt media, this rush to judgment, no presumption of innocence. It would have taken them 5 minutes to get this story right. They will now be held accountable. Washington Post responded to the lawsuit tonight and emailed to Fox News writing, quote, we are reviewing a copy of the lawsuit and we plan to mount a vigorous defense. My money is on Nicholas and Lin Wood. Now,